Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to peel back the jungle canopy and uncover the incredible story of a lost Maya superpower. A city that took on the giants of its day and carved out an empire that stretched for miles.
Okay, so picture this. You're deep in the Petén Basin region of Mexico, just surrounded by this incredibly dense forest. And there, you'd find the ruins of a city called Calakmul. Now, for centuries, this was no forgotten relic. No way. This was a bustling, thriving metropolis, the absolute heart of a kingdom that held power over millions of people.
So to really get a handle on Calakmul, we've got to get to know the dynasty that was pulling all the strings. They were called the Ka'an, which means we're heading into the kingdom of the snake.
And look, this wasn't just some run-of-the-mill kingdom. At its peak, Calakmul was a true heavyweight champion. Its power, its influence, it just radiated across the Maya lowlands, rivaling anyone and everyone in its scale and ambition.
The Snake Kingdom had this really cool way of, signing their work. This intricate snake head you see, that was their logo, their sigil. And archaeologists find this exact glyph carved into monuments in cities really far away from Calakmul. And that's a dead giveaway of who was actually calling the shots. Think of it like their ancient brand of power.
So here's the key takeaway. The Ka'an dynasty, they weren't just a local power. Oh no, they saw themselves as divine rulers, the divine lords of the snake. And for most of the classic period, we're talking roughly 250 to 900 AD, they had the military and political muscle to make a huge part of the Maya world believe it too.
But of course, the Snake Kingdom didn't rule unopposed. Their dominance led to what was really the central conflict of the whole era, a genuine tale of two superpowers. Because down to the south, in what's now Guatemala, stood the mighty city of Tikal. For over a century, the entire history of the Maya world was basically defined by the intense, sprawling rivalry between these two absolute titans, Calakmul and Tikal. And you gotta understand, this was way more than just a fight for land. It was like an ideological Cold War. On one side, you have Tikal. Their dynasty was super influenced by this other powerhouse city, Teotihuacan, way up in Mexico. So their monuments, they're all about these powerful, single male kings. But Calakmul? Totally different story. Their heritage seems to come from an even older Maya city, El Mirador, and their art often shows powerful queens or even the joint rule of a king and queen. Just two completely different ideas about how power should work. And for a good long while, Calakmul absolutely had the upper hand. During its golden age, the kingdom wrapped its rivals in the strategic grip, something we can call the serpent's embrace. At its height, the city itself was this buzzing urban center, home to maybe 50,000 people. I mean, that's a population that could go toe-to-toe with many European cities from the same time period. But 50,000, that was just the people living in the city center. The true scale of their power, it is just staggering. The entire kingdom, including its huge network of cities that paid tribute to it, is estimated to have had about 1.75 million people. And the city wasn't just populated, it was enormous. Archaeologists have identified over 6,750 separate structures there. We're talking everything from towering pyramids that seem to touch the sky to these dense neighborhoods where everybody lived. And their dominance on the battlefield, it was undeniable. In 562, they straight up defeated Tikal, captured and sacrificed its king, and basically forced their rival into a 130-year-long slump. They sacked other big cities like Palenque, and they even used other allied cities to fight proxy wars for them. This was the age of rulers like Uknum the Great, and under him, Calakmul was, without a doubt, the undisputed superpower of the Maya world. The wealth of these Khitan kings was just off the charts. You can see it in the stunning things they found in their tombs, like this unbelievably intricate jade mask. This wasn't just a piece of art. It was a screaming statement of divine right and immense, immense power. But, as we all know, no empire lasts forever. The serpent's grip started to loosen, and that led to a dramatic, violent shift in the balance of power. This is the Great Reversal. I mean, it's the classic question, right? How could a kingdom that dominated its world for more than a century, with a massive population and this huge web of loyal allies, just fall apart? Well, it really came down to one single pivotal moment. In August of 695 AD, Calakmul's king marched his army against a newly resurgent Tikal.
It was probably supposed to be just another show of force, another victory, but it turned into an absolute catastrophe.
Tikal won, and it wasn't just a win. It was a major, decisive victory. They even captured the sacred statue of one of Calakmul's deities, a just devastating symbolic blow. And almost overnight, the magic was gone. Calakmul's network of allies started to crumble, and its diplomatic power just evaporated.
And the downward spiral just continued. This stone monument, or stela, shows a later king named Uknum Tutkawil. He tried his best to hold the kingdom together, but he ended up suffering yet another major defeat to Tikal around 736 AD. That was it. The era of the Snake Kingdom's dominance was officially over.
And so the great city began its slow, long fade into memory, leaving behind only echoes in the jungle. By the year 830, about a century after that great defeat, any kind of formal political authority seems to have just vanished. The very last monuments they put up around the year 909 were really just crude copies of the magnificent carvings of the past, a people desperately trying to hold on to a tradition they no longer fully controlled.
For 1,000 years, the city was literally swallowed by the jungle. Its entire story was lost. It wasn't until 1931 that it was finally spotted from the air by a biologist, a guy named Cyrus Lindell, who put Calakmul back on the map of the modern world. And today, those immense pyramids still break through the forest canopy. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Calakmul stands there as this silent, incredibly powerful monument to a lost world, a stark reminder that even the greatest empires can be reclaimed by time and the jungle. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The story of Calakmul was literally written in stone, but it took us centuries to figure out how to read it. So what other forgotten superpowers are still out there, just hidden, with their stories waiting for us to finally find them?